Elon still needs an approval from a majority of Twitter shareholders and US regulators in order to get this over the line. Just how significant are those two hurdles?
I don't think they're that significant. I don't think regulators are going to put that much of an obstacle in his way. In the first place, he has some probable SEC issues, not disclosing, as the law requires, when he got his 9% initially a couple of weeks ago, and not filling out the proper forms allowed him to save about $140 million when he purchased the rest of that percentage. Theoretically, that's securities fraud. On the other hand, that's only at most $100 million, $200 million, $300 million is a possible penalty that he might pay. So, for most people, having to pay a few $100 million might be a problem. For Elon Musk, it's more of a rounding error. So I don't see his SEC problems as posing any real threat to his ability to buy it. The FTC is apparently investigating him as well for some antitrust violations. But again, the potential penalties for that are not that significant. And when it comes to shareholder approval, while Twitter's numbers were okay, they certainly aren't going to knock anyone out of the park. And Twitter at this point is, I think, either the 7th or the 8th most popular social media platform. I don't think that the shareholders of Twitter are going to get a much better deal. And I think we know that because when Musk announced his interest, no one else came out of the woodwork to say, I'll bid more than $54.20 a share. So I don't see that either regulatory approval or shareholder approval are going to stop this deal from happening.
It's fascinating, not just the SEC, but as you say, the FTC and the DOJ also considering whether or not this takeover is going to reduce competition. But broadly, Howard, when you take a step back and look at the profile of big tech as it stands right now in the US Congress, a lot of concerns about the power of this space. What type of regulatory issues do you think Elon Musk might face as a sole operator of Twitter when it comes to US Congress and regulators in Washington, D.C.?
Clearly there is a huge push in DC for regulation of social media platforms. Right now, though, a lot of that push is based on the claim that these social media platforms are biased against conservatives. So if anything, Musk buying Twitter might alleviate some of those concerns. I would be more concerned if I was Musk, not about U.S. regulators, but about regulators in the EU who have a much stricter view of compliance when it comes to social media. I'd also be more concerned with Asian countries like China or other authoritarian nations, which may take offense at something that's said on Twitter and may therefore put pressure on Musk through Tesla to rein back on some of the expression on Twitter. So I think we're going to see, if he does actually go through with this, some interesting conflicts between his interests in promoting Tesla sales in every country in the world and the possibility that a free-ranging social media platform might irk the authorities in various countries who might then put limitations on how he can sell Tesla cars in different countries. So I think that's going to be a much more interesting and perhaps problematic obstacle for him.